Alright guys, Paul back here again with another replica belt review. This one's going to be difficult to film. I actually filmed this like 3 months ago when this belt arrived. I filmed an unboxing, accidentally deleted that footage, so yeah. Let's start off with what this is. This is a Macho Man Randy Savage limited edition signature series replica belt. Nope, it's a legacy belt, what am I talking about? But yeah, now we have the Macho Man Randy Savage legacy belt. I keep saying signature series. And it comes in this massive, quite heavy sunglasses case. As you can see, it clasps on from either side there. It's hinged at the top with a handle. That's enough chat and shit. Let's get into this. Right, I don't know the best way to film this because one camera's going to be blocked either way, but here we go. That is the inside of the sunglasses case. So obviously you can see the belt fastened up nicely there in the elastic straps there holding it in place. We have a bandana, a Macho Man bandana here, a pair of sunglasses here, which, you know what, I'm trying these on. How the fuck does he see through these? Ooh yeah! That was terrible. Right, I think this will probably be the best way to film this. When you open up the case, you can obviously see the big Macho Man text there in gold. The white part of this is kind of a felt feeling. It looks really nice. The presentation of the belt looks actually really quite great. It's impressive. Down here we have the kind of base pattern here. The white there is sequin, so it's kind of what he wore on his robes and a lot of his gear. So it's kind of a nice Macho Man Randy Savage touch. Up the top here we have two plaques on the top of the, near the hinges of the case, which says on this one, 2-time WWE champion, 1-time Intercontinental champion. That one over there is 1987 King of the Ring, and then 2015 Hall of Fame inductee. This belt is numbered. I think it's like 1 of 500 or 1 of 750 or 1000. I've searched for ages on this case, on the belt. I've never found a number on it. So if anyone does own one of these and knows where the limited edition numbering is, tell me, because I haven't got a clue. I've looked over the belt, I've looked over the case. It's on the sunglasses. Why would it be on the sunglasses? I might as well show the bandana. It is the same pattern that's actually on the back of this belt. So you can see the Macho Man Randy Savage logo there with his head. Right, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this belt. So it does come in fastened really well. Like I say, I have opened this before, I've repackaged it because I filmed an unboxing and then I deleted. This is how the belt comes in. It does come on a foam board, as you can see, holding it in place, which is strapped once again. So that's quite nice. It keeps the shape, it keeps the belt nice and secure in place, holds it in place quite nicely. But as you can tell, folding a belt like this in a case, especially a replica belt with a simulated leather strap, that's kind of what you're going to get. Okay, so we'll put the case away now and just take a good look at the belt itself. One last touch on the case. It's a good looking display piece. It's way too big. It just gets in the way. And annoyingly, this came brand new from WWE Euroshop, and it did come with a lot of scratches, a lot of dents on the case, which is a little bit disappointing considering how much they charge for these legacy replica belts. Right, now that the case is out of the way, we can actually take a look at the belt itself. And as you can see, it comes in a purple Macho Man belt bag. The material of the belt bag is a little bit different than the standard belt bags. It's kind of a more fleecy feeling material, so not kind of the simulated suede or velvet feeling that most of the belt bags on replicas are. And immediately right off the bat, you can see that same pattern that was on that bandana. So yeah, there's the bandana. There's the backing of the belt. It looks good. Right, let's take this out of the belt bag. Right, before we get into the review itself, I should mention, I bought this with my own money. A lot of people comment on the videos thinking that I just get sent belts for free to review, and no, I paid for this, so smell that. That's regret. Right, there we go. There is the Macho Man Randy Savage legacy belt. And I will be 100% honest with you all, I don't like this belt. So we will start off with the strap first of all. One thing I should mention is this strap is a little bit wider on the ends of the strap. Most straps as standard taper down to about 4 inches or 10 centimeters for the snapbox area. This particular one is a little bit longer, a little bit wider. It's 12.5, so it's about an inch, it's about 5 inches in height and width, whatever you want to call it. Disappointingly, this does have a sewn on snap box. So if you've seen Replica belts from years ago, they all had the sewn on details. They had stitching around the borders, everything like that. We were kind of getting away from that when they started stamping in all the details, but unfortunately, I think it's just because they're using different materials to kind of accentuate colors and contrast or whatever. But this is a sewn on snap box. It does say Freak Out in the middle of it. It's a 2x6 snap box. The snap box itself is a kind of black velvet suede, imitation suede material with a kind of vinyl printing around the border in yellow. It's a strange look, I'll be honest. We have a yellow border going around the edge of the strap as well, and I should mention, this purple strap material, I gotta be honest here, this, whatever material this is that they've used on the kind of light purple part of the strap, it is the worst simulated strap I've ever seen on a replica belt. I gotta be honest here. The old TNA replicas, those had terrible simulated straps. Those straps cracked immediately. They felt plastic, they felt rock solid. But this feels like sandpaper. I don't know why. Genuinely, the top surface material of this belt feels like sandpaper, and I really don't like it. You know that kind of like really thin sand, like high grit sandpaper, really fine sandpaper. It literally just feels like that. And these patterns that are in the purple, on the photos I thought they were all stitched in, because I think they're supposed to look like all these little white dashed lines are stitched in. They're just printed onto this sandpaper feeling strap. And as you can see, because of the way the belt gets bent in the case like that, that's how the belt sits. Because of that, when you flatten it out, the entire strap in these two areas is completely creased, which, because of that paper thin kind of sandpaper feeling, it actually feels like it could tear, which is a little bit disappointing. I should mention as well, with the strap, you see this darker, kind of nicer looking purple color behind the plates. That is another piece of the imitation suede sewn on top of the strap. So the strap does have layers, but what stitching more material onto a strap does is it affects the flexibility. So you can see there is little to no flexibility between any of the plates there. It's an aesthetic choice putting the extra layer of leather suede on, but as far as practicality of the belt, the maneuverability of the belt, it does affect that quite a lot. We'll move again over on to the right hand side of the snap box. So again, you can see the wrinkles there. I really don't like the feel in that strap. And again, we have another sewn on patch here in that imitation suede that says dig it, dig it. And a 2x5 snap box here with what is my favorite part of this belt, and that is the gold tip. The tip itself, if you can't tell, is a pair of sunglasses. It's a very similar design to the case, and it does have Randy Savage's signature in the middle there. And the white paint with the black paint, I personally, there's the back of it, you can see screwed on. Personally, this is my favorite part of this belt. I think it's a really nice, unique belt tip. It's the only kind of plate that doesn't look generic, if that makes sense, because it's this unique shape, and the tip properly looks personalized to Randy Savage, whereas the rest of the plate shape without the design on it could be anyone. If that makes sense. I'm trying to get that point across. So that being said, let's actually talk about the plates here, because like I mentioned with the tip, if it's just the outline of the plates, it's literally just 6 rectangles and then this kind of whatever shape you want to call this. There's nothing that screams Randy Savage about this belt, other than obviously the details in the plates, which I think is a little bit of a shame. You have other belts that the design screams The Undertaker, you have his urns, you have the purple floral or whatever, you have things that kind of look demonic, that kind of are synonymous with Taker. This is just a very generic belt in my opinion. We'll talk about it though. The plates themselves do have more detail than is probably immediately apparent. The center plate is actually 3 layers. It's all one, every plate is one piece, but the way they're casted, it gives it the idea of layers. So as you can see here, the center plate does have steps up to each piece. So like this, the black painted in piece is the final layer. The one with the stones is the second layer, and then the complete outer border is the third step. And the side plates do have that as well. So you can see on the inner side plates we have the rectangular border, the bit with the stones is stepped up a bit, and then the portrait plate is a third plate on top. The detail on the portraits looks really good. I'm really impressed with the actual level of detail, like in the Macho King side plate on the left here, the actual little dots on his ring attire, all of that is very clear to see, and the detail achieved on like the portraits of him, the fine areas of detail is really impressive, and I really do like that. We have another Randy Savage plate here with his portrait pointing at the camera there. And I believe all the stars on this belt, so the 3 on the center plate and then the 6 on the outer 2 side plates on each side, along with the 2 that are printed into the strap. If I remember correctly, I think those add up to the amount of titles he won. Don't quote me on that, but I seem to remember that was the case. Either that or it's the stones amount to the titles. Can't remember. Didn't do my research. Sorry. The outer side plate on the left here, again, is the exact same logo as the belt bag, as my hoodie. It's the standard Macho Man sunglasses logo. Moving on to the right here, we have another Macho Man. And yeah, this portrait, the 2 inner side plate portraits really do show the detail that they can achieve on these belts, but it's just unfortunate the design itself is a little bit more generic than it could have been. And that's the annoying thing about this belt, is there's so much potential. There's some ideas that I really like, but the execution of it is really, really subpar in my opinion. We have the Macho Madness with the WCW style ring gear, I believe that was. Again, looks really good. The detail in his shirt behind the Madness shirt looks really good. And the outer side plate is just Macho Man, oh yeah, that logo. Alright, that's pretty much all there is to talk about the front of the belt. We'll take a quick look at the back of the belt. I'll just put this foam over the front of the plates so they don't get scratched up. Right, and from the back of the belt, there's... It's an interesting design, isn't it? As I mentioned before, it is that same design that's on that bandana that came in the sunglasses case. One thing you might notice that most replica belts don't actually do is this actually does have all the screws from the plates covered, which is a nice touch. It would be nicer if the strap wasn't this inflexible. I mean, that's awful. So again, on the back of the patch here, on the back of the belt here, you can see the patch, official authentic Macho Man Legacy Championship title, 2020 WWE shop, made in China, etc. We got the holographic patch, the warning patch, and then of course the patch certifying that all the stones on this belt are actually real Swarovski crystals, which is a nice touch that WWE are doing on a few of their more high-end replica belts. They're putting real cubics, real crystals in. Yeah, this belt is what it is. Okay, let's talk about this belt. I'll be honest with you, this is probably one of my least favourite belts I've ever bought from WWE shop. It is actually the most expensive belt I've ever bought from WWE shop as well. I mean, that's because of the case and everything, but yeah, this is my least favourite belt I think I've ever gotten from WWE. Obviously, it's a lot better than the old style 2mm replicas, like that big gold that's down there. That's 2mm, that's from 2003. You don't compare the belts, obviously, but if we're talking about new release belts with the thick plates, the thick details, the casted details, yeah, this is a really bad belt. The design itself is lacking. Whether you like the design or not, that's obviously personal preference. I don't dislike the design, I just think it's a little bit plain. When I saw photos of this online when it was first released, what I did like was the strap though. I thought the strap was really unique. I thought it was a different step that WWE were taking, and it was a different direction they were going in, and I was curious to see it, which is why I bought this. I also thought the case was pretty cool as a collector's piece. Again, if you have one of these and you know where the numbering is, tell me, because I'm looking at the belt, I've looked at the case, no idea. It's not a belt I can recommend, which I think is probably one of the first times I've ever actually done a WWE belt review and not recommended it, because I mean literally all the recent belts like the Brahma Bull, the Undisputed 2020 V2, the 2020 United States belt, those are the 3 best replicas they've ever done. So it was a pretty good streak of belts there up until this. But yeah, that's my honest opinion on this belt. I'm very disappointed with the end result of this belt. So personally, I can't recommend it. But if you like the belt, if you like Macho Man, go for it. It's your money, spend it how you wish. But if this review was at all useful to you, I would appreciate if the belt's falling over. Yeah, that'll work. But yeah, if this review was at all useful to you, or you enjoyed it, or if you have any questions, ask me questions down in the comment section below. But I would genuinely appreciate if you could like the video. But yeah, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Cheers.
Yo, monkeys, it's me, DDP. And if you want to get one of the greatest belts made for you, go to Paulmartinbelts. That's right, sucker.